This is the right rear axle and wheel flange from the 74 Lotus Elite. As I purchased it, it was installed in this carrier, and when I got the car, I was told that this was the reason the car had gone off, had been taken off the road and wasn't driven. Okay, so I was told there were some challenges to it. What I found is the nut, which sits here, had come loose. It didn't have a cotter pin in it, and so the flange had spun on the splines, and as you can see, some of the splines are fairly heavily damaged. The interesting thing is, if you look at the interior, I don't know if you can see that, the splines are almost completely gone. They've been worn out. Let's see if that works. So they were almost completely gone. So if you were to cinch it down tight, you could get a little bit of a grip, but that wasn't adequate. So I purchased a new flange. The bolt pattern on this flange was different than that, so I had it re-drilled, and the lugs moved, and then the splash shield on the back I had removed from this and then located on that flange, and then I've reinstalled it so that it works. And as you can see, there's no slipping left. The bolt hasn't been torqued down. When I torque it down, then I will put the pin back through it. There's, I believe, 2 holes in this, so there's 2 different positions I can put it at. But that will make the flange stay on the axle and spin with it. These are the carburetors for the Lotus, and if you look, they appear to be in pretty good shape. They've been sitting for 40 years, and they still have working diaphragms. You can't really tell from that, but this is a working diaphragm. The linkage seems to be in good working order. However, if you look closely, I don't know if you notice it, but there's something missing here, and that is the choke mechanism for the carburetors. So with that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a screw that somebody shoved in there as well. So not only does the carburetor system not have chokes, they're sort of forced into about 10% of the choke being applied with this screw, and I'm guessing that's affected the carburation and has fouled the plugs and fouled the engine. I will scope the engine out and show what the insides of the cylinders look like. I've already done that once, and I can tell you the plugs are fouled, and there's a surprising amount of carbon buildup in the cylinders. Okay, I'm pulling the spark plugs to see how they look. turning? Yes, it is. All right. This is number 1. I think it's kind of foul. There we go. Number 2. Number 3. That's interesting. All right. And number 4. All right, so if we look at these plugs, remember the choke is, half of the choke assembly is missing. There's a screw holding the choke open on the forward carb. If you look at the 2 back carburetors, not great, but for something that's been sitting for 40 years, they're not terrible. There's a little bit of oil everywhere. If you look at the front ones, they're clearly pretty badly soiled. And interestingly enough, if you look at the gaps on them, the gaps appear to be a little bit different as well. All right, so there we go. That's that. Now,